Okay, so I am ready to tackle another house project, and of course I'm taking you guys along to show you the whole process. Now, this space is, frankly, I'm pretty embarrassed to show you the before. It's very bad. It's a disaster, but I promised my husband that this would be the next project I tackled before anything else. And so I'm gonna show you the before. Super embarrassed. It's not a space that's functional or clean or well designed, and we're gonna try to change that. So here it is. And you probably can guess just by this. Okay, so this is it. This is our garage space in all its unorganized glory. It's a 20 by 20 space that can fit one car, and I'm proud of that we make sure we can at least fit one car in here, and we don't have like nice cars parked on the street and just a bunch of junk stored. So that part is at least something we always make sure we do. Other than that, it's a very cluttered space. This is where everything comes to basically just sit in a pile and never get seen again. I think we try to keep the inside of our house so minimal and clean that we end up having to put it somewhere before it moves its way out of the house, and it seems like the garage is kind of that holding zone. The ceilings are not very high. They are under 8 feet. I think it's just over 7.5 feet in here, and so we don't really get a lot of storage space by hanging. And we've tried a lot of different things for just convenient storage, but we've never done a full remodel. We've never like taken everything out and done like a full clean out and addressed like all the walls. And so that's what I really want to do this time around, different. So my plan is to address everything in this garage: walls, electrical, floor, storage, workspaces. Everything I can get my hands on, I'm going to try to upgrade or make a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner, and a little bit more functional in here. So the plan is to break each area up by like a zone, a workspace. So there's gonna be a laundry zone because this is the only area we can put our washer and dryer. There's gonna be a workout area for our free weights, and then we need some sort of storage for Christmas decor and things that we don't use a lot, and a workbench. Actually, I don't even know if we're gonna do a workbench, but somewhere to put tools and all the things that go along with owning a house, like stain and paint and little house project type things that we like to keep on hand. And then last is probably for gear being beach gear and bikes and skateboards and stuff of that nature. So I really feel like the only way I can design this space and really figure out what we need as far as storage is just to start fresh. It's something I haven't tried yet before, and we've spent a lot of weekends cleaning out our garage and putting everything back, and it lasts for about a week or two, and then it's right back to a cluttered mess again. So we hate doing this. It's not how we want to spend our weekends, and I just want to try to solve this issue. And so I feel like I want to take everything out, find the storage solutions that we actually need for the stuff we have, donate everything that we don't have or that we don't need, and to do that, I'm going to rent one of those pods or those like storage containers that you can put in your yard. We have a small space in the front of our yard on rocks that we can put one of these containers. And I also think what's nice about this is it gives me motivation to have an end date, which I learned from my one room challenge. Having an end date, it like keeps the momentum and the project moving along to where it doesn't like, once it's not fun anymore, it doesn't just fall off and you don't finish it. So I'm going to rent a pod, move everything out into it that we plan to keep, donate, and sell the rest of it, and then continue the project from there. And I kind of will have to work within, I'd like to do it within 4 weeks, but how life ends up going, and we still don't have childcare, so if it has to move a little bit longer, that's fine. But I know both of us, me and my husband, are not gonna like having this storage unit in the front, so I'm hoping that will help move it all along a little bit faster. So one of the biggest things that made a huge organization mess in here was during the stay-at-home order, my husband moved home. I moved out of the studio to give him a recording space, and we both downsized. So he went from a double the size studio to smaller, and then I completely lost my studio. Now I am finally getting a workspace outside of the house that I will move into, and so I have a little tiny space that I can take some projects I'm currently working on and some tools and some props. But other than that, I still have a lot of photography equipment and stuff that I'm either going to slim down and sell, or just kind of trying to figure out where that's going. And then my husband has a lot of different electronic recycling things he needs to do and sell. And we've just found it really hard right now. Like, there was 3 months where pretty much Salvation Army, Goodwill weren't open, and like the Buy Nothing group that I use on Facebook to give to neighbors wasn't accepting anything. And so everything just piled up. So I'm hoping I can try to drop stuff off that can be let go, and hopefully these donation centers are accepting things. I know they've had an influx of people going through their homes, and I just don't want this stuff to just end up somewhere. So what I'm getting to is, it makes it take a lot longer. If you don't just dump everything that you have that you don't want anymore, and you try to find like a conscious place where it's going to end up in someone's hands and not in the landfill, it's a long process. So after I move everything out of the garage into this pod, the first thing I want to tackle is the electrical. I think the electrical has been what's turned me off of this room for a while, because it's just really messy and a little chaotic, and I really didn't know how to go about it. Like, do I drywall over it? Do I tuck it into the drywall? I just wasn't really sure how to address it. And I'm confident now that we have a really good electrician that he's actually looked at it and he's been like, this is a piece of cake. We can just reconfigure some of this stuff. So now that I feel like I can have somebody come in and change some of this around, then I can move forward past that. And for the floors, it's just the old original foundation concrete, and it shows some wear. It has cracks and paint splatters and all the above. So I looked at doing the garage mats, and I also looked at doing epoxy, and I think I'm pretty settled on doing epoxy. I think it will be the most cost effective. I think it looks really clean, and when we change out this garage, we aren't left over with a ton of those matte tiles for the area that I have to get rid of. So I'm most likely going to stick with an epoxy, and just in some neutral color, nothing bright or crazy. So along with the electrical, I want to have a nice space to plug in our cars. We actually have this Tesla charger that is like a Founders Edition series plug-in charger that has a longer cord to get to our cars. And I don't know why, but we haven't installed it. And I probably would say the reason why is we just don't have a nice finished garage, so it's never really seemed like that much of a priority to put this really beautiful finished looking charger on. So we actually have just the regular charger plugged in, but I think it would be something that's really nice, that especially for my husband's job, he uses a lot of this stuff to record with. It's part of his business, and I would just love him to have a nice finished wall to use for that reason. Okay, and so after all that electrical, the walls are addressed and the flooring's addressed, and it's just time to move on to storage. And I'm going to build out some storage. I'm gonna buy some storage. Basically, once it's clean slate in here, I will really be able to see my wall space, what I'm left with after I donate and sell everything, and then it's time to bring in storage. Okay, and that's pretty much it. I would love to know your thoughts and things that have really worked for you in your garage space, like organization-wise. All the tips and tricks, leave them below. And please subscribe, because this is gonna be an ongoing project that I will share every step of the way and break down each project, whether it's building out cabinets or making a nice laundry space that we can use, or building out a tool bench. So stay tuned, tons more on this garage project to go.